Mr. Edward Best is the organizer, the originator of the Save Fairgrounds Field petition. Hey, Edward, welcome to KEEL. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Robert.
So what's the motivation here? What was it about, I would guess, driving by there on occasion, maybe every day? What got you started thinking, maybe I, Edward Best, can do something about this?
Well, I mean, as a lifelong resident of Shreveport, it saddened me to see what they had let Fairgrounds Field become. As I would drive by there on a regular basis 2 to 3 times a week, going to the fairgrounds, to the Hearst Coliseum, or to the we play ball hockey right there on the fairgrounds in the old exhibit museum. And I mean, it would just sadden me to see it. As a kid, I loved going there, and I just drove by there one day and got out and walked around, and it just made me sick to see what it had become.
So what did you do?
I started a petition. I mean, I sat down and I talked to my wife, and I just told her, I said, I just want to do something. I can't do much, but I want to do something. Start a conversation, and that was what it was. That was what it boiled down to, is get somebody talking about it, and that's what happened.
Well, this is evidently you did a little research along the way, right? Because there's some numbers and some figures and some cleanup estimates involved. Tell us about those.
Well, the cleanup estimates have varied. I've talked to some people that say up to $600,000 just to get rid of the bats. And I've talked to others that say it could be as little as $300,000. At the city council meeting the other day, they had a gentleman come in that has a group of investors that are looking at it, or that are saying around $265,000, which we knew that was going to be the problem. The bats have been the problem since they became the problem years ago, but the problem has been ignored for so long that it's just gotten gradually worse.
Now, it's interesting you said at the city council the other day, so evidently there's people in citywide positions that are paying attention, I guess, huh?
Yes, sir. I mean, I've contacted pretty much all the city council members. I've gotten about a 50-50 result. Several of them want to see something done with it. The other ones want to see it just torn down.
Let me ask you this, Edward, because Shane Sharkey was there behind you speaking and talked about he had some people that are interested. You guys have obviously talked. What do you know about, what the plan could be? What could the future of Fairgrounds Field look like?
Well, we haven't gotten to personally speak. I was in the city council meeting afterwards, and I heard him talk, and I would like to get with him and find out what their plan is. But from what I got from him that day, they have a group of investors that wants to get together and do a multi-sport complex type thing with baseball and softball and different things. They want to do tournaments and things like that, which I think is great. Anything that they're willing to do with the stadium. But I think that there's more that we could do. It could be a multi-use facility. They even talked about maybe putting a soccer team in there, which would be great. The Shreveport Raptors, we have a soccer team here in town that, I mean, I don't know if anybody in the city has talked to them about it. Maybe it would be something they could do.
You obviously know the city doesn't have the money to do anything like this. What are the alternatives with regard to funding the getting rid of the bats and the refurbing the complex?
The private money is where it's gonna have to come from. There's no question about where the renovation's gonna have to come from. But the city of Shreveport can come up with some parts of it, because they would either have to tear it down.
Mm-hmm.
They would either have to tear it down. If they did that, they have to get rid of the bats. Okay, from my understanding, it would cost around $800,000 to tear it down. So why wouldn't the city, be willing to, instead of spending $800,000 to tear it down, spend the $300,000 to get rid of the bats and get rid of the problem? And that's one of the main reasons that nobody has wanted to come and do anything with it, because of the bats.
So
that was my whole point.
The city's going to have to get it ready, spend the money to get it ready for an investor to come in and rehab it. That's what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, and I think the city leadership knows that. I mean, they know that they're going to have to do something about the bats. And if the previous administration before Mayor Tyler would have done something about it years ago, then this probably wouldn't be an issue. But because it was a problem that was laid in their lap when they came in.
Are you surprised? Pardon me, Edward. Are you surprised at all, since you started this, petition, Save Fairgrounds Field. Are you surprised by some of the calls from some of the people you have heard from, and what have they told you? Some people, maybe politicians, investors, people with money. You tell us.
Everybody that I've talked to has been very supportive. Everybody that's contacted me, I mean, the vast majority of everybody wants to see something done with it, because it is a black eye on the city of Shreveport for it to just sit there. And like I said, I don't feel that it's Mayor Tyler's fault or her administration's fault, because it was already laid in their lap. You know, I mean, Cedric Glover was the mayor when the last baseball team left. Well, at that point, something should have been done about the bats before they became an issue.
So you can have, with all respect, you can have a petition with 1 million signatures, but if you don't have any money, so is this just sort of a paper tiger of a petition? What is it about this that might actually make something happen?
Well, it's not that you have to have investors, and that's going to be the biggest thing. Well, the reason I started this, I didn't want to see the city go in and just tear it down, and that be the answer to everything. I saw the Cross Bayou project come across the city's lap, and, you know, they wanted to do something with that. And that was kind of what got my wheels turning back then was, you know, I mean, I think that's a great idea in sight, but we already have a great facility sitting on the fairgrounds that the taxpayers spent $4 million on 30 years ago. Yeah, that was 30 years ago, but that was still taxpayer money that was used to build that. Why can't we take that, I believe it was $30 million, something like that. It would not cost that. It would cost probably $2 to $3 million to rehab it, to get it up to code, to at least get an investor and you know, interested in coming in. And in my opinion, the tax dollars that would generate would come back to the city.
Okay, the elephant in the room is, and we're talking to Edward Best, who wants to save Fairgrounds Field. There's not a baseball team that's coming back to Shreveport, right? I mean, this is not going to be done to lure. They're not coming.
No, we'll never lure another. I mean, I'm not going to say any baseball team, but the AA teams are not going to even look at the city of Shreveport.
Why? Why?
Our population has been stagnant for 30 years. We don't have the population to generate enough revenue to do that. There's just no way. Maybe an independent league at some point, but there's other things that could be done with this. You know, the NCAA baseball is always looking for neutral site places to play games. You know, how many times have we seen LSU come here? LSU in Centenary, LSU Louisiana Tech would be a great one. You know, I mean, something to draw people out and to draw the fans in and to generate tax dollars.
Edward Best, Save Fairgrounds Field petition leader, thanks for your time this morning.
Good luck, man. Thank you for your time. We'll see you around, okay?